Oh my God, can we please change the subject? Let's talk about you had a great weekend.
You had a staycation.
Let me talk, and I'm going to kind of talk to you out there. I had this weekend all planned. I was going to go to my best friend's home, and I love going up there, and I love hanging out with them, Russ and Kay Russell, and they live in Argyle. And I went home to do some work. I had seen her for a quick lunch, and I had gone home to kind of clean my house before I went up to their house. And when I walked into my house, all of a sudden it hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to leave here. I don't want to drive. I don't want to do anything. So I texted, which is a very weak thing to do, and said that I wasn't coming. And I felt very badly about that, but it didn't stop me from staying home because it was something I wanted to do. I stayed home Friday, Saturday. I never got out of my gown. No, I didn't shower. I watched old movies. I ate some ice cream. I just hung out, and it was the most restful, beautiful time. My family was coming over for Sunday dinner, so I went out about 3 o'clock and got some groceries and cooked, and that's what I did. And I'm telling you, when I woke up this morning, I was renewed. I wasn't talking to anybody. I just loved it.
I love doing that.
That's a really good point, and we've talked about this before, is that when you talk for a living, when you're off the air, it's so nice just to be quiet. And sometimes people will be like, "What's wrong with you?" You know, or if I'm just quiet. But honestly, it's because I'm so sick of talking.
I call that time.
And you know, it's not that, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's like you get sick of the sound of your own voice.
Yes, all the time.
You know, you just get sick of it.
I call that time personal improvement time. It's like when you do all that weird stuff that you don't want to tell people that you're doing, but you just want to piddle around your apartment. And if you want to stay in old, gross sweatpants for 3 days, then you can stay in old, gross sweatpants for 3 days. And if you want to tweeze your eyebrows or like do an earwax candle or put like Vaseline gloves on your hands.
I know, and your feet.
And do all that weird crap that you don't want to tell people about, that's
this is all
the perfect
stuff that
time to do
happens
it.
when you live alone. And you essentially live alone when you're here because Tom's in Fredericksburg.
Because Tom's in
That
Fredericksburg.
all happens when you live alone. When you live with somebody, this doesn't happen.
No, I know, which is why I think
here-
I should enjoy it, and for as long as, because I might meet my husband tomorrow, and who
You know
knows?
what, though? I will tell you,
time to be taken away.
It is so important to have that time, though. And I mean, I love Scott, but he went to Houston a couple days last week, 2 weeks ago. And he went to Houston one of the weeks, and then one of the days, and then he was at meetings, and so he didn't get home until later. And it was so nice just to have like that time, you know, where you don't have to worry about what anybody else wants for dinner. You can like eat dinner in bed, watching whatever you want to watch on TV.
This is why I think I would be amazing at a long distance relationship, because like I love like having time with a person, but then I also love just being like, okay, bye. Like, I don't need to spend every waking hour with a person, and like that's not my love language at all.
I mean, I love it. Like and I wouldn't be with somebody if I didn't love spending.
Well, I'll tell you something very interesting. Our son Josh came over last night with his family, and he married when he was 28, and his wife had 2 children. He had been he was like raised like an only child, although he had older brothers and sisters. And he was talking last night about being alone, and he grew up a lot being alone by himself, able to entertain himself and all that. But he said, now he's got 3 kids and Dawn, and he said, I could never go back.
Yeah. Once you have all the activity in your life.
Which is funny,
He said this is everything to me.
Alone, like as far as like being an only child, like to speak to that, like I could entertain myself, but I want to have like 78 kids and like have like and like I always was jealous of my friends that had these families of like 5 brothers and sisters, and then they all get married, and then they all have kids, and this Christmases, and
you have this huge
Christmas with me, it's like me and my mom, and then we go over to my grandmother's house and my cousins. Yeah.
And that's the way it was for me, because I was an only child too, and then I had 4 children, and so
that was great. And then when you have all those brothers and sisters, and then the parent dies, and they all fight over the will and never speak to each other.
I like that you always bring it back to these horrible issues.
It's just time for us to wrap it up.